Serene lakes and forests, Iron River, Michigan seems to be the picture of peace and quiet. But when a local man goes missing, those who call the small town home have their lives turned upside down. And as they would come to find out, one woman seems to be at the center of it all. Investigation Discovery's Dead North takes a deep dive into a story that is unbelievable. And we're going to front it for you in a minute, but first, just watch this. Laura Frizzo was the lone female police chief in the remote town of Iron River, Michigan.
It's a good place to come and kind of try to start your life over. Nobody knows you. Nobody really pays attention to you.
But the biggest case former police chief Frizzo would ever investigate began in October 2014, when Terry O'Donnell reported her ex-boyfriend, Chris Regan, missing.
I didn't know what I was supposed to tell the police. I didn't know what I was supposed to do besides tell the police that he's missing, he's gone, something happened to him, something terrible's happened.
Frizzo's investigation into Chris's disappearance led her to a married couple, Kelly and Jason Cochran. She discovered that Kelly was having an affair with Chris Regan.
At that point, I felt like there's definitely room for suspicion with these people.
Chris was still missing. The questions lingered. Then, 2 years later, Kelly made a suspicious 911 call about her husband, Jason.
This is like, well, he's breathing barely. I don't know what's wrong.
When authorities arrived, Jason was dead.
The autopsy report came back and it was ruled a homicide. We all kind of look at each other like, she killed him.
A new documentary, Dead North, on Investigation Discovery, takes a closer look at this twisted love triangle and just how far Kelly Cochran would go to cover her crimes.
And your agreement from the time you were married was that if you have the affair, it's your responsibility to kill off that person.
And former police chief Laura Frizzo joins me now with more on this incredible story. So you, Frizzo, my apologies. You emerge as really the heroine of this whole piece because, just so the audience knows, at every turn, she was shot down. People tried to take over the investigation. They tried to lead the investigation in different ways, and she was like a dog with a bone. You just would not let go of this case, ultimately at great peril to yourself. But it started when a woman named Terry O'Donnell, who's here with us in special audience today, came in to report that her now ex-boyfriend seemed to be missing. And some people started to look at you, Terry, and say, right, what'd you do to Chris? And you were like, I'm not feeling that. Turns out Chris, the missing man, had another girlfriend whose name was Kelly. And Kelly happened to be married to a guy named Jason. And so Laura here, our police chief, says, well, husbands don't tend to like it when their wives have affairs. And so starts to look at this guy, Jason. This would dominate how many years of your life as you looked into Kelly and Jason and others?
It was about 18 months.
Okay. And at first you were focused on Jason, the husband. And at what point did it dawn on you, hold on, Kelly, the wife, and affair partner of the missing man may be my more likely number one suspect?
Well, really right from the beginning, when she had her interview and he had his interview, and I kind of sat there and watched both of them, I mean, it was immediately apparent that she was more dominant. I mean, she was in control of her emotions, in control of her body language. Initially, I thought, maybe this guy did snap. Maybe he was jealous. It could have happened. She's trying to protect him. As time went on and I received more records, phone records, started piecing together text messages between them, put together a history between them, it was very clear that this woman was actually controlling of him. She was quite mean to him. She was, belittling of him.
What happened? What happened? How? What did he do with Chris? Cut him up.
That was Kelly Cochran confessing to how she and her husband, Jason Cochran, murdered her lover, Chris Regan. She did it. And then disposed of his body in 2014, something the police chief suspected for a long time and struggled mightily to prove. You can see more of that confession in the new documentary special, Dead North, on Investigation Discovery. It's on next week. You have to watch it. So Laura Frizzo's here. She helped capture this woman. And what was the pivotal turning point? When Kelly's husband, Jason, turned up dead and it was clear she murdered him?
Yes. I mean, that really, if that hadn't happened the way it did, the way the detective staged this, letter that really didn't exist.
They led her to believe that that Chris Regan, the guy who'd been missing, had sent a letter to somebody saying, if anything should happen to me, contact the cops. And she started singing like a canary.
Right. So if that hadn't happened, she would never have confessed. It was like one of those things where I knew no matter what I do, and they had cleaned up so well, and we couldn't pull, evidence or anything. And I thought, she's never going to get caught.
So they took care of the corpse in the most gruesome way possible, and you can see for yourself what happened on investigation. Trust me, it's shocking and disturbing. But you finally get her in custody, and there's no doubt she did it. She did try to plead not guilty, but she was found guilty. Right. But there's a shocking twist at the end about just how many deaths this woman may have been responsible for.
Right.
I mean, do you believe you found one of the most prolific serial killers in our country?
If you're asking if I think there are other victims, most definitely. I mean, when we started, it was only a couple of months into the investigation when I realized there's something up with these people. The way they control their emotions, the way they handle themselves. I felt like, maybe they came to Michigan to get away from something else they had done. So I had this amazing assistant named Wendy that got on the internet and started doing some searching. And I mean, we believe that we found something that they may be responsible for. And that's just one. So as the case went on, and we do the search warrant at their house, and the cleanup was amazing. And
seems like they knew what they were doing.
Yes.
And then there's a shocking discussion caught on tape between Kelly and her mother at the very, very end of the 4-hour documentary, which you will hear if you watch it, in which it leaves very little doubt about what this woman's been up to. If it weren't for this woman sitting here, you wouldn't know any of it. I just want to tell our audience that the man named David Thayer, who's the city manager, in response to Laura's hard work, fired her. And there's a real question about whether that was the right thing. I leave it to the audience to decide. I want to tell the audience that we did reach out to Iron River's city manager, David Thayer, and his attorney for comment about Laura Frizzo's termination. They gave us a statement which reads in part, the city was and remains proud of her work on that case. Laura Frizzo is an excellent investigator. Ms. Frizzo, an at-will employee, was terminated because of conflicts between her and her boss over things that had nothing to do with regard to the Kelly Cochran investigation. But we thank Laura for being here. And don't forget, Dead North premieres Monday night on Investigation Discovery. So worth your time.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.